Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my daily plan. We'll call it the TGIF edition. Thank God it's Friday. Okay, before we get to this, to the chart and all that, I want to show you something. So here's the expected move week to week. Let's zoom in on this for a second. Here was the move from last Friday, and this is going to populate like today at the open is going to give me lines for next Friday. But what I want to show you is this. Aside from all this up and down, in and out, we haven't done anything. We basically consolidated up a little bit. So I know it feels like, bear porn and all that kind of thing, but we really haven't done anything bad. One might argue, and I'm not making an argument for or against, but one might argue that this was a healthy consolidation in an uptrend. Okay, of course, one might argue that momentum slowed, stalled, whatever, I don't know. You can come up with all kinds of arguments, and in retrospect, you'll be right. But however, because this stuff is always backwards looking, the thing that's forward looking is gamma, because that tells us the response that's going to happen if we get there, not what might happen based on what happened yesterday. With that as a preamble, let's get to the work in hand. Okay, so quick review of yesterday. Oh, look, and that's an old one from the day. Your consolidation during, good consolidation. Yeah, I totally think so. And we're going to talk a little bit more about 6,800 being in the cards for next week, maybe. And so yesterday, just a quick reminder, the IC whale was here with 18,000 contracts, I think, down in 67.20. Where's yesterday? Where's Thursday? Here we are. Was here with 60,000 contracts over here. 18,000 contracts over here. And we kind of I don't remember exactly what happened here, what triggered the crescendo down, but VIX started popping up towards 17, and 17 VIX has been the path towards 17 VIX. As market makers are short gamma at 17, the path towards it, market makers start having to hedge that spills over into the SPX space. I'm sure there was some put buys too. I didn't notice any large put buys. That doesn't mean that they didn't happen. It just means I didn't notice them, so I was doing something else. And we finally undercut the short strike by a little bit and then snuck above it. And then once we snuck above it, Charm did its job. It took us, all the way up, back up 20 points, give or take, from below. Yeah, we're not going to discuss the Charm dynamics either. Well, here we are. That was yesterday. That was yesterday here, Thursday. Okay, so then overnight, so we closed at 35. We're chopping around. Overnight session. I don't know what happened here, what Euro market opened up, or whatever it was, where we kind of had 15-ish points straight down. But whatever it is, we're kind of up a little bit from the close yesterday with 67.50 above us. That said, let's take a quick look at the gamma map because it's a little different today than it typically is. So As a reminder to everybody, bars to the left means market makers are short these. Why are they short them? Because customers bought them, so somebody had to sell it to them. Customers are you, me, hedge funds, everybody else. Everybody's a customer, except you have the market makers on the other side of the trade, whether it's Citadel or big firms, little firms, whatever. So right now at 67.50, a mere 5, 6, 7 points away, we have, you probably can't read the number, we have 8,578 people, long calls there, long calls. When customers are long calls, market makers who sold them are short those calls. What happens as we go up is a hedge in the direction of the move. So I'll call it a magnet. And we have this little ladder pulling us up. So pretty much we have a magnet up to 67.50. And it looks like, we're going to get there. Give or take a couple points. This isn't pinpoint, precision nuclear physics accuracy. And what's unusual is typically we have sold, we have vol sellers selling stuff. We have these bars to the right. Let's just talk about the way the bars to the right act. Let's pretend these aren't here. The bars to the right are customers sold. So market makers hedge opposite the direction of the move. As we go up, they sell. But then once we're here, what's the direction of the move? If we're going this way, down, oops, and they buy. And same thing here. And so depending on how close we are and how all the Greeks and the volatility and everything, balance out, you end up getting this ski or either stick toward one level or another level, or you could get like a pattern of sort of bouncing around between levels based on whatever else is in the middle of them. So for example, if over 67.60, unlikely but possible, then you kind of have this fishbone pattern is what I called it in my note. So if over 67.60, and we're just doing this for the sake of explaining whether we're over there or not. If over 67.60, and you got a path, like maybe 10 points, but then you have stall over here. Then if you get over there, you have stall over here. So it's back and forth, fishbone pattern. But today, what's unusual is locally near a spot, the biggest thing is a customer short, customer long, market maker short, customers long calls and long puts here at 67.30, and we have long deep in the money calls. Now at this point, these deep in the money calls are probably like a 90 delta or whatever it is, so there's not much hedging the market makers have to do to hedge that out. There's not much gamma left in it. If they were at 80 delta, they would be sensitive to volatility, but there's not much gamma in them, or sensitive to charm at the end of the day. But as of right now, there's not much to do, but that does provide us with a floor, assuming they stay. So if we fail here at 67.50 or we don't get there, then we have this little local zone, 35, 20, 30, this little local zone here. Might be a good place to buy a little put fly in here, especially on a pop, get a cheap one in case of a pullback. Now, if we break 67.20, what do you see between 67.20 and 6700? Answer, nothing. Why do you see nothing there? Because there's nothing there. Gamma edge, I didn't see it. Okay, transition zone. good word for it. See, I call it a chop zone. I call it a chop zone. So it's the same difference. Well, maybe different verbal nuance. So transition zone, if we can get over here, then we transition into a mess. Then we transition into market maker, long gamma, slow, sticky slog through that. Right, and yeah, the top is there. And 6,700 is the ultimate destination up until 6,700. Oh, he's taking down there. Okay, yeah, 6,700 down here. We have this deep in the money stuff. If we get below here, yeah. So if 6730 breaks, maybe you have like a little goalie here to try and save at 6720, but this is clearly the magnet. What helps out somewhat is that these are customer long calls, so could put a floor on it. If VIX spikes to past 17, like we've had the Tuesday and Thursday, it was the whole VIX past 17 and the path up that kind of triggered a change in the hedging. And yeah, so there's 6,700. All right, let's take a look at another thing. I like to look at like the actual numerical values of what's going on here. Pardon me while I chomp. So if we see right here, 35 to 20 is what I'm calling the, well, here's one zone, 35 to 20. 25 is nothing, 125, 155 contracts there, that's a nothing burger. 6730, right near where we closed. So if we break below that, which is gamma edges, transition zone, and I can't argue with 6730 either, then it's a false stall at 20-ish, 6720, round number 25, depending where people start trading locally. Then it's pretty much a straight shot down to 6,700. No, wait a minute. Why does this look different than that? Did I lie on my thing and have to rewrite it? I'm not going to rewrite it. I'm just going to have to send out like the New York Times does. Whoops, we made a mistake. One thing looks different than the other. All right. Well, I'll get back to that in a minute. My computer is doing what it does. The 6,700 over here on that dashboard didn't look like the 6,700 there. I might have been frozen. This is all the same, but just the bottom that's different. This is all the same. The path. Yeah. Okay, so I'll send out a little later disclaimer note, like, whoops, yeah, the bar's there. This looks kind of the same. Maybe not the size of the bars, but the path. So the path from 35 up to 60 is the same path. So different size bars, same path with the stall of 60. And the same story going down here. Because a couple of those bars got stuck somehow. And if over 70, then between 60 and 75. I think the intraday high was 65, or may have been overnight high. And so, we could push to here, 67, 75, But here's what I want to point out. We have customer long at 4,000 calls at 6,800. 11,000 calls at 6,800 for Monday. 10,000 calls for 6,800. Is this for the AM expiration? For the PM expiration, SPX needs to hold 60, needs to hold 38. Now I'm going to be a little bit sarcastic. And if it's 37, it goes to hell in the hand basket. And if it's 38.1, it doesn't. I'm saying that to say this. I look at it as a zone. It's an area. I don't know that there's like a specific line that it flips. Now I know when you do TA, you kind of arbitrarily pick a line, but so I mean, if that's what your TA comes out to, that's what it comes out to. And if that's your system to trade it at a particular line, that's cool. But looking at it from a gamma point of view, the hedging happens more in a zone, more in aggregate than at a specific line. Volatility picks up below 38. Oh, really? I didn't see that. What are you looking at? Really? Below 38? What are you looking at like a Vanna map of some sort? I'm interested. I can learn. Your pivot for the day. Okay. I mean, I don't know that there's, I don't know. I'm not saying there isn't. I don't know of any direct causal link between breaking 38 and volatility increasing. Not saying there is or isn't. I'm saying I don't know of any. If this map is right, see now I don't know if I can trust the. Let's update this. Yeah. Okay. So here we see positive gamma. So we see we're in this positive gamma. When you say we get volatility, you mean VIX picks up? Do you mean like there's a Vega increase, or you mean that larger intraday moves, accelerator moves? I don't know if we're using the term volatility the same way. Again, I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm trying to understand. Anyway, so here's, I mean, really, we have volatility everywhere here. We have upside we have upside volatility and downside volatility. And I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have spot up vol up today. But I'll definitely make note of that 38 number. Thank you. And so we have, we have this, this is speed. The vertical lines, the vertical axis is speed. How do options contracts influence price? Do you mean new contracts that come in or contracts that are there? I think maybe let's start it from the other way around. Let's say that options contracts that are there will be influenced by price. As price approaches a large level, then there's a required or prescriptive response from dealers that will then influence price, send price up or down, or keep it pinned. New contracts coming in that have to be hedged will then further influence price. And then if price moves toward or away from them, then the adjustments will have to be made. So when you say contracts, are you asking new contracts or existing contracts? I'll just assume we're talking about existing contracts. Long-term new contracts that come in, the deltas are hedged, and then they're long-term. There's not a lot of gamma. They don't change much. And so there's really not much that the dealers have to do. Existing contracts, will influence price in that price will react against these levels based on the market maker's hedging. Okay, let me switch gears real quick. Let's go back to here. Let's put ES up. I'm gonna reluctantly turn the mic over because I like to talk. I'm gonna turn the mic over to Chewy, aka Bad Hombre. Go ahead, young man.
Hey, good morning, everybody. So as of right now, the way we're holding the support area 6782, it's kind of been a support and resistance area all week. I would like to see upside, and I'd really like to see upside if we can hold above 6785. So just another 5 points. If we see some good 15-minute closes, I'd be targeting 6810, 6815 to end the day. Below, we might come down and see the 70s for a quick second before coming back up. But if we can hold that 70 area, I'm not a bear. Below that, maybe target the 60s, 61, maybe 55, but that's kind of the range I'm trading in today. Definitely bullish into today. If we can hold below 67.60, then I'll start to hold downside. And then another thing is, if you have trouble finding the trading room, just ping me, DM me, and I'll make sure you have the right access if you should have the access. Yeah, same, G-Man. Are you comparing them to the gamma level stock? Hello? Paul, are you there? I think you're muted.
I was muted. Damn it. Oh, that was such a great explanation too. That was such a great explanation too. Okay, take two on that. I was muted because the speaker was echoing in there. Okay, so take two. Let's pretend hypothetically that no contracts are transacted and that we just stay still all day. Let me just go to Periscope because that's let's see. Okay. Let's pretend that nothing is transacted all day. These contracts will decay. If it's a call that's in the money, and let's just say it's a 65 delta, it will decay up, so to speak, to a 1 delta. So market makers will have to buy to hedge out that delta, just pretending that that's the only thing that's there. Similarly, if 67.55, I'm just going to pick on this one randomly. This is customers' long calls at 67.55. If we're at 67.50 and time is passing, and these are a 50 delta or 50, 48 delta, and time passes, guess what? They go to a zero delta if we're below it. And if it's large enough, then the hedging will be market makers having to sell that. So there's the inevitability of charm, and then gamma, the flip side of that. So charm is going to happen, time is going to pass. Gamma is going to be dependent on price in a different way. If we're, let's just say, at 67.55 again, well, then the positive gamma above it, market makers are going to sell into that. If we're at 6,700, this doesn't matter. So the gamma, the hedging is going to be based on, it's conditional, it's path dependent. It's based on the path on how we get there, if we get there, and based on where we are in relation to it. Does that answer the question? Yeah, I enjoy these questions. And I was just thinking today, I've gotten some like DMs from subscribers like, oh, I've learned this or I've learned that. And I was thinking, I'd much rather, my hope is that I teach you to fish rather than feed you fish. Now, yeah, I put in some of my trades and all that, and fine, you want to copy them, beware, because sometimes they require some fancy footwork. But my goal is not to be a trade subscription service where you copy my trades, a copy service. My goal and my hope is that you learn how to fish, and I feed you some fish along the way. If you want to take a couple nibbles, go ahead. Anyway, I was thinking that this morning. Okay, did that answer your question? Okay, well, this one. As I'm only 2 months into the stock, your info has been great. Thank you so much. That really gratifies me. I like that. I mean, I'm almost getting choked up. I mean, I really like to hear that. That's what I want to do. That's really all I want to do here. Make a couple dollars doesn't hurt either, but that's really all I want to do here. Let's go back to, and you can write that on Twitter and tweet it out. It wouldn't hurt. Okay. Mine still looks the same. I don't know. Something's up here. Let's try this. Yeah, it totally changed. I don't know what happened. I'll send out a disclaimer note later. Whoa, it's a totally different picture, isn't it? Holy crap. Well, it's different in size, Yeah, sure. I would like that. I would like that. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. That's really what I'm trying to do. So look what we have here. We have this positive, market maker short calls, or this is the negative gamma ladder all the way up. The proportions have changed somewhat. 6,700 came in as support, which is actually better. We still from 6,720. It's down goes Fraser towards 6,700. We got all this stuff down here at 6,680. So a lot of the stuff didn't change. Just a few of those big bars must have been ghosts or something. $67.60. I don't know what happened to $67.50. It used to be huge, and now it's not. So not right now. The biggest thing in the room is $67.60 kind of stall. Now we have the fishbone pattern. So not a lot changes. What does change is 67.50 is not quite the magnet that it was, but we have the ladder up, so it's potato. We have the ladder up, and we have a stall at 60, support at 35, we'll call it. Ping pong zone in here between 60 and 35. Another lower ping pong zone between 35 and 20. Should that break? Should we get red on the day, which wouldn't shock me? And another zone, 20 to 6,700. Ping pong. I like it when we have a clear structure like this because we know we can ping pong. Here we have a clear ladder. And that's kind of it. Let me put E-mini back and see if Julie wants to say a few more words. If I can find E-mini. Do you have anything else to say about the projected path here?
Yeah, I mean, now that we're holding that we had that pullback just a second ago, and now we're holding that 67.82. So in my opinion, if we can really go back above 790 ES, we should. I could see 810, 815 into today. That's kind of my theory.
So that's basically a new all-time high.
Yeah, I think we're set up for it.
Okay, so you're gunning for a new all-time high.
Yeah, unless we start holding below 75, then that changes the narrative to the downside.
So below 75 is how many points? We had 10 points. Okay.
So personally, the way I'm trading this today, I'm waiting 10-15 minutes to see where we have our first close on the 15-minute candle. Is it above that 75, below? And then that'll kind of give me the bias for today, at least for the morning.
Word to the wise, everybody. At least I think it's a word to the wise. Watch VIX. I'm telling you, we had it 2 days in a row. We had Tuesday and Thursday. So on Wednesday we had VIX open wherever it opened and just collapsed the whole day. Thursday, we had VIX pop, and when VIX has been traveling towards 17, I mean, doesn't really have to get there. It's not VIX 17, it's the direction of travel. With gamma, what matters is the direction of travel. Market makers are short those short at 17 VIX in the October contract. In the direction of travel towards 17, there's going to be, just oversimplified, VIX futures buying, which then spills over into the whole put gamma space, however or whatever magic mechanism that is, and however all this is connected in the grand scheme of things in the web of life, the circle of life, however it's all connected, and it gets ugly and it gets messy. Similarly, we could be over 17, and if the path of travel is back down, you get that relief, that distribution I said that widens out, starts to tighten up again, and then you get these silly moves up, or these silly, like, what happened? Oh, they're manipulating the market, or whatever people say. It's got nothing to do with them doing anything. It's just got to do with mechanical stuff. Yes, okay, we will. Where are we now? We're at 85, 15 points. Yeah, why not? 15 points takes us kind of toward the all-time high. It's all math, exactly. Hopefully that's an abacus, right? Yes, that's what I like to see. It's all math. I know people would much rather have it be a conspiracy, or them trying to run the stops to get you to buy it from you cheaper, or to sell it to you higher, or whatever it is. Goldman Sachs is trying to trick you into buying a stock that they bought cheaper and all that stuff. Okay, just a trick. Okay, copy, link, share chart. Let's see what happens. Copy link. Like that? Do I have to put like share chart on over here or something? I have to like enable share chart? Oh, share, okay. There you go. Copy link. Like that? Wow, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I could do it with other charts that have other people's proprietary indicators on them. Do you know offhand? Here's one of my crazy ones. Let me see, do I have that enabled? Why isn't this permanently enabled? That's a pain in the butt. Okay, hold on. We're getting very complicated. Here's my other crazy dashboard. Now let's go. Okay, crap. Did I lose myself? Oh, where is it? Okay, I think this is where, no, it's not where I was. Where was I? Here I was. Here's where I was. Okay. I'm gonna follow your instructions. What do I do here? Now just here. Okay, all right, we're gonna try this. Let me turn off the other guy's stuff. Maybe that'll like, plus I don't want. Okay, so right now all you have on here is my stuff. You can save this. I don't know why it should be saved anyway, but save it anyway. Okay, sharing, copy link. So you guys getting that over there now? I pasted. You people out there in YouTube land and Twitter land, are you getting that link? Wow, yay me. Okay, now I'm not going to be sharing my chart of my work every day for everybody. Great. This will be a once in a while thing, and I can do it for my subscribers if somebody shows me how. Maybe I can put it in my in one of like the channels there, and people will have that, and then you can just kind of pull it up and reference it. Very good. I'm glad, and hopefully, if you guys like this, that's good. Thank you for teaching me that, Wes. All right, 9:10. Time for me to boogie. Oh, wait. See, see that 233? That's this thing. This thing was up about 400 bucks yesterday. This thing was up about 400 bucks yesterday. Whoops, I don't have the right thing on. And I just forgot all about it. And I've already told you guys I suck at managing longs. I either hang on to them too long or close them too soon. My timing on long trades sucks. I mean, I don't sit there and watch it. I don't have the patience to like stalk a trade like you guys do. Again, it's just easier. You might be onto something there. Yeah, well, I mean, I typically set targets on. I do that on calls either. I actually had targets set on these guys yesterday, and then I just kind of took them out and didn't put it back in. I mean, usually I might do something like profit 50%. I see what 50%. That doesn't look right. I don't think that was what the profit was. I didn't pay that much for it. I paid $5 for it. So if I can get out at $7, I'd be happy. Usually I do that. Yeah, I mean, I do that on all my spreads, and usually on my calls, I said something, and then I hear that beautiful ring. But what I said is kind of arbitrary, like you say, it's like a target. I know I have this, so okay, if I can make whatever percent, 30%, 60%, depending how it looks, I'm more than happy. All right, I'm good. Oh, let's put something in here. All right, so we have this mess over here. Let's see. So, I mean, I think it's kind of easy from where from my point of view. 85, let's just say 85, 65, 55 cents. I'll take that all day. The call side's not quite as easy. Maybe 80. Maybe. I'll put in a onesie at 80. Especially because I have this buffer here anyway. At 80 here, 55 cents. I'd like to do 80. I'd rather do that and see if I can get 45 cents on that on the push up and then revisit it. If I were doing 5 wide, yeah, I'd probably do something like, no, might do something like that. Oh, flies. Let's take a look at some possible flies. Put fly, that's not a bad fly right there. Remember we had the something like that for 70 cents is not terrible. 15. $1.30 even gives you a lot of leeway. Let me go back and check the Check this again. So yeah, so below 35, stall at 20. Let's see how that looks again. Below 35, stall at 20, so give it a little room. Or you can kind of do it this way, 75 cents. I'll start off with 75 cents for sport. And on top, since I have a whole mess here, I'll just put in a cheapie here for 40 cents, 50 cents, whatever. And these are forgiving, and I'm not worried if they turn to nothing. And that's it. All right, everybody. See ya. Oh, and those of you that listen, next week, I'll be here Monday, but then Monday evening, we're going to Albany. My daughter, who started her residency, I'll brag, started her residency at Albany Med-Peds combination specialty. Started in July, and they bought a house up there, her and her husband. So I'm going to finally see the house. Then from Albany, we're driving to an Airbnb in New Hampshire. My son lives outside of Boston, and he's getting married over the weekend on Saturday. So we'll be doing the whole family thing. I'll get my note out somehow. I'm up at 4 in the morning anyway. That's not going to be a big deal. I'm probably not going to be able to be around that much, just kind of depending what's going on. And I'll be having my laptops that work, don't work, Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. So more will be revealed. All right, everybody, take care. And the goats are not coming with me.